Every Uber driver has been in this scenario. You think you're doing everything you can to be the best Uber driver possible, providing excellent customer service, you're always on time and ready, but something just isn't going right because you're just not making as much money from Uber as you need, or not as much money as you used to be making. But why? Why would this be the case? What am I doing wrong? Well, in this video, let's figure out that answer together with 4 likely reasons as to why you're not making more money with Uber. Hey everybody, it's Kian with the RideShare Guy, pronounced Kian. And before this video starts, I do want to make it clear that no, I'm not going to be basing this off of the fact that Uber's fares, like their base fares, have gone down over the years, because that's just the truth of the matter, is that Uber's fares have been continuously going down in the majority of major markets and cities all around the country. And as much as I, or well, anybody on the RideShare Guy can and have gone on about this specific topic, this is not what this video is about. I'm actually here to try to give you some more worthwhile reasons as to why you yourself may not be making more money, either again than you used to, or why you're not making as much money as you need to be. And whilst this advice is generally targeted towards some of the newer drivers in the world of Uber, this advice could also easily apply to a lot of veterans in the scene. So if you guys have any additional advice as well, make sure to leave a comment down below. Okay, reason number 1 as to why you may not be making more money driving for Uber is that you haven't learned where to drive in your market. Look, we would all love it if we were able to just sit in our houses all day and wait for the Uber rides to come to us. But let's be realistic. Unless your house is literally in a central city that is very busy with Uber, that's most likely not going to be the case for you. And if you're a newer Uber driver, then chances are you just don't understand where the best places in your market actually are in terms of where you need to be and position yourself. This is why one of the key values in the RideShare Guy YouTube channel is the 3 Ps. And the first one of those Ps that we're going to be covering is positioning. You need to be in the right place where the Uber passengers need rides. And the second of the 3 Ps is planning, which actually goes into my second reason as to why you may not be making more money with Uber, is that you haven't learned when to drive in your market. Uber absolutely loves to promote, alongside all of the gig apps in the world of the gig economy, that you can do this whatever times you want. It is up to you as to you pick your own hours, you be your own boss, all that stuff. And look, that sounds lovely, but let's be realistic here. You do still need to play Uber's game. And every market is going to be a little bit different in terms of what the supply and demand are generally going to be and need. So check around, see what events are going on, see what major cities are near you, and then check to see when there is a lot of demand in those cities that might require people to need transportation. So you can think of like seminars, you can think of a big events, concerts, games. There's a whole foray as to why people would need Uber rides in specific areas. And speaking of learning when and where to drive, if you're still struggling with this in your market, then that is where Solo comes in for you. Solo is an app meant for gig drivers around the gig economy like you. If you're doing rideshare, if you're doing food delivery, if you're doing anything in between for last mile delivery services, Solo can help you out. With amazing features like automated mileage tracking, income tracking, tax deduction tracking, so you can be ready for tax season, which everybody is always afraid of, right? And also giving you access to the highest paying jobs in your market and in your city per hour, and giving you minimum guarantees per hour, meaning if whatever gig app of choice you select that hour through the Solo app and you don't make at least what Solo says you make, Solo will pay you the difference. So what are you waiting for? Go download the Solo app right now. There will be a link in the description below, and it helps us all at the RideShare Guy out a ton, because we are all drivers on the RideShare Guy. We have worked through the gig economy ourselves, and let me tell you, you can ask anybody on the RideShare Guy team, and they will recommend the Solo app to you just as much as I do. And a huge thank you to Solo for helping support the RideShare Guy. And with that said, let's get back to the video. Okay, reason number 3 as to why you may not be making more money is that you're not utilizing the bonuses Uber provides to you properly. Now, admittedly, this is not something that I can blame a lot of drivers on, because unfortunately, a lot of drivers just aren't getting bonuses anymore. And I am one of these drivers. Like literally this time last year, I would be getting Boost Plus offers for my market. I would be getting tons of Surge in my market. And I would also be getting Quest offers for taking a specific amount of rides to earn a specific amount of money. albeit not all of them are generally worth taking, but when they are worth taking, they can be super lucrative. However, I guess Uber just doesn't want specific markets to be oversaturated anymore and doesn't want to provide bonuses to some specific markets anymore, because at least in my market, in terms of Surge, Boost Plus, quests, bonuses like that, they're completely gone and completely dead in my market. However, like I said, if you're a newer Uber driver, then chances are you may not even know that you have bonuses available to you. So a really good way to check is to just check the Uber app. There's going to be different tabs for events, promotions, reservations, things like that. And reservations are going to be a key one as well. If you can get good reservations, you can make a ton of money doing it that way. But at the same time, chances are you're probably not doing anything wrong if you don't have a lot of promotions being sent to you. It's just the fact that your market's becoming oversaturated and Uber does not want to give everybody promotions anymore. And the fourth and final reason as to why you may not be making more money driving with Uber, and a lot of veteran drivers are going to agree with me on this, your market just isn't as good. Now, some markets were just doomed from the start because there just isn't enough demand, and regardless of how much supply there is, it's just never really going to matter because how many people are going to really need Uber rides. You're going to see this in a lot of like the countrysides and a lot of the very quiet suburban small towns. Those places don't really need Uber as much as like big cities and highly sought out like suburban areas. And when I say as good, I also preface my previous point where the amount of supply and demand has been changing over the years. Some markets have become oversaturated, bonuses have been down, and there are a ton of different factors and variabilities that could probably just mean that the prime time in your market for Uber is no longer around. However, that doesn't mean that your market is completely ruined or that you're completely screwed. It may just mean that you have to change the game a little bit for yourself. And you may have to think of new strategies. You may have to think of new different times of the day to drive. You may have to experiment a little bit more than you were used to. And this is actually something I've done recently, where instead of driving in my primary market of the Philadelphia, Delaware market, I actually have driven all the way down every single weekend to the beach sides in lower Delaware and in some parts of Maryland. And I have been loving it. It's a new experience for me. People are on vacation on a lot of the beach sides now, and everybody's in a really good mood. So despite the fact that there, again, really isn't that much in terms of surge or bonuses or quests or anything in this market, it's just a lot more fun. I'm genuinely having fun again driving for Uber. So I guess you could technically count that as a fifth reason, but it's more specifically just a suggestion. If you realize that your market is only getting worse and worse and worse, and everything else on the list that we've previously provided isn't working for you, then maybe try experimenting a little bit. Try a new market, try new times or days, and maybe new areas as well in your market to see if there's anything else that Uber can truly provide for somebody like you. And if not, I mean, hey, maybe it's time to look at a new side hustle. But we want to hear from you guys. What do you guys currently think about the situation with Uber? Is your market oversaturated? Have you tried all of these tips? And do you have any tips of your own for new and experienced and veteran Uber drivers? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you guys want to see another Uber video that we have made recently on the RideShare Guy, you can go check out my last video that I made with the RideShare Guy, where I talk about 5 items that you need in your car if you want to truly elevate your game driving for Uber. And that's all from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and stay cool.